what led me to this ultimately was my youngest child of 8 kids, my youngest son, McCoy, was diagnosed with leukemia when he was 4, almost 5. It was in December 2014. And everything I thought I knew about my relationship with God, my stance with spirit, as I call it, was shattered when I got the diagnosis that he had leukemia or lymphoma because his white blood cell count was over 400,000. And they couldn't treat him because there's a law really in the American Medical Association and oncology that you can't give chemotherapy unless you draw spinal fluid to see if those leukemic blasts have gone past the blood barrier. Because if they do, you got to give radiation. If they don't, you give just chemotherapy. So they couldn't test him. We were stuck for 24 hours. But they saw me help him get the original lab draw and an IV placed and a really key situation about having to be forced oxygen because he had so many tumors around in his chest. There's pictures on the website, that it was like his heart was beating inside 100 rubber bands, and his larynx his airway was down to the size of a pencil lead, and his superior vein was blocked, so blood could go to his head but not return to his heart. So his eyes were swollen shut, and he's 4 years old in a hospital, and it's the equivalent of an alien autopsy. And I'm afraid of doctors. I have white coat syndrome. I vasovagged when I was 14 getting a blood sample taken. That's how I learned some of this early. And to be empathetic about it and compassionate in the moment. And I was able to get him into a theta mind out of body state with controlled breathing and creative visualization. I guided him down the river we had floated for the last 2 years since he was 2, and he sat on my lap, and it was fun, but he had to trust me. And skiing, and I described the sun off the snow and the pow pow, as he called it, fluffing into our face, and I just got him into this place where he was listening to me so intently that he started to snore like every fifth breath. I had no idea what I was doing, but he was dipping in and out of theta, trying to go to sleep, but my voice would keep him awake. And that's theta, the range of dawn and dusk of sleep where you're passing through. And that's where everything is programmable and healable. It's where Joe Dispenza gets people. From theta is the gateway to gamma, which is where the magic happens. So I was able to guide him through that 2 different times when he got an IV or a PICC line placed, which is a tube that goes to your heart to draw blood and give medicine simultaneously. And he had to have the lumbar puncture without sedation. And I was able to guide him through it. And they got 3 vials of fluid through the most sensitive nerve endings in the body surround the spinal cord. And they had to open him up, get in the fetal position. And we've got there's 40 people in the room ready to get him if he crashes. But they were going to have 4 doctors hold him down with me. And I said, no, please don't hold him down. That's the surest way to start a fight. Just lay hands on him and breathe with me and don't surprise him. Describe what you're going to do and give me a minute to get him ready and then do it. And we went through this process, and they were able to get 3 vials of spinal fluid without him batting an eyelash. And the doctors were in tears. And they inspired me.